This is the second video on my bucket list playlist, and we're going to pick up with the ecosystem or the designation high mountain trails. There's a whole bunch of them on here, so I won't get all of the rest of my trails done in one video in this video, but I'll knock some more of them out. So remember, in the first video I said number one was British Columbia, Whistler, Squamish area. Number two, French Alps, Morzine, France area. Now we're picking up off of that. Number three is Big Sky Bike Park in Montana. Absolutely incredible. It was an awesome experience. Whenever I rode there, I was also able to drive through Yellowstone and the Grand Teton National Park. So awesome. I also was able to make a trip over to Grand Targhee in Wyoming and ride that bike park. I didn't like it quite as much as Big Sky, but it was still super, super good. Instead of going to Jackson Hole Bike Park in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I was told by friends who have ridden Jackson Hole Bike Park to instead go to Teton Pass. And they said what's common is to hitchhike up with your bike. A lot of times the people will pick you up in their truck. I'll let you make your decision whether or not you want to take that risk. But I did, and I took a trail by the name of Lithium down. That was really cool, really neat experience. But again, if I had to choose between that and a whole day at Big Sky Bike Park or Grand Targhee and Wyoming Bike Park, I would have chosen those two other ones above that. The next place I would recommend, a lot of these are not necessarily in any order. It just depends on what you want to experience and what state you want to experience. Tahoe Rim Trail and the Flume Trail near Lake Tahoe in California. Those are amazing, amazing trails. Very, very beautiful. While you're there, you'll want to ride the North Star Bike Park. You'll definitely want to have a good set of goggles for that bike park. Very, very dusty. One of the dustiest bike parks I've ever ridden in the world. Downeyville is not very far away from that. Such an awesome town. One of the coolest towns I've ever been in. Trestle Bike Park in Colorado. It's a good beginner's bike park. The only thing about that is sometimes when I was there, sometimes the jumps were hard to predict, so you had to ride the jump trails over and over so that you don't send it too deep or not deep enough. But it's a very popular bike park. Right down the road from that is Granby Ranch, and I like that bike park even better. It's very small, but it's really technical. So if you like more jumps, you're probably going to like Trestle. If you like some more old school downhill and more personality, Granby Ranch is definitely the way to go. Another really neat bike park is Crested Butte Bike Park, Crested Butte Mountain Resort. And it's very small, neat vibes. There's a really, really neat trail that goes down under the lift that's really technical. Yeah, I think there's Double Black Trail. I forget the name of it, but it was really cool to ride that. That place has a lot of personality. It's definitely high up there on my list. Deer Valley Bike Park near Park City is very, very cool. I'd say it's a lot like Trestle Bike Park, a good first-timer bike park. While you're in the Salt Lake City area, if you get a chance, you can do the Wasatch Crest Trail. You'll definitely probably want a guide for that. I like the bike parks more because you can get more runs. I said that in another video. You can get a lot more riding done, and you're not just climbing fire roads or boring roads. Now, granted, an e-bike really does open up some more opportunities, but a lot of these trails, I don't know if they're open to e-bikes or not because I rode them before the e-bike was even invented. Let's keep on rolling. The Monarch Crest Trail near Salida, Colorado. Definitely cool if you're in that area for the same reason. Beautiful scenery, neat trails. Keystone Bike Park. It's a lot like Granby Ranch. It's very gnarly, very raw, old school downhill for sure. Snowshoe Mountain Resort in West Virginia. It's not super steep, but there's a lot of routes, and you're almost guaranteed to have rain. So the thing about Snowshoe Bike Park that's really cool is you're definitely going to develop a skill of riding wet routes if it's wet, that you won't get anywhere else that I know of in the United States. Another awesome place is Angel Fire Bike Park in New Mexico. Super long runs, neat vibe. It's not super commercialized like some of the Colorado bike parks and other bike parks. So it's a little bit friendlier, I feel like. Super neat. Tamarack Bike Park in Idaho is really cool too. I really enjoyed that. I had a friend who was kind enough to show me around a lot of the Idaho riding. I really love that. Bogus Basin Bike Park near Boise. If you're near Boise and you want to just having a good experience, that's a neat local bike park. A once-in-a-lifetime experience was actually riding down from Pikes Peak, the top of Pikes Peak. I have a really good friend in Colorado. He arranged to shuttle a bunch of us up to the top. It was kind of tricky because you can't leave a car at the top of Pikes Peak, so you have to find a designated driver that will drive you up there, drop you off, and then drive back down. We took the bar trail. It was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We tried to time it when there wouldn't be very many hikers, but even with that, we ran into a lot of hikers towards the bottom. It was fun, but a lot of these other places I've talked about would probably be better to choose if you could only choose one place, just because of the logistics of getting a driver and knowing your way around and stuff. Hey, I have to put in a crack for Windrock and Jared's. They're my two local places that I like to go to. Windrock Bike Park in Tennessee and Jared's in Georgia. Windrock is awesome for a winter training place for some really steep tech. A lot of your downhill World Cup pros will train there all winter long. Definitely recommend that. Great vibe. Aaron Gwynn owns that now. And then Jared's Bike Park in Georgia is my favorite place, fairly close to Jump. They have trail armor on not all their jumps, but most of their jumps, so you can even ride them in the rain. There's not a lot of loose rocks that you may land on or anything. It's very safe as you can get jumps to be. They're really well built. Definitely recommend that place year round as well. Hey, let's go back to Colorado. So if you're near Boulder, Colorado, definitely check out Left Hand. My buddy from Colorado showed me around there. If you're near Golden, Colorado, check out Golden Ridge and Floyd Hill. A lot of these places that I'm mentioning now, like for example, some of the places near Salt Lake City, near Golden and stuff, I wouldn't call them destinations. I'd just call them, if you happen to be in the area, definitely don't miss it. The other places that I basically highlighted by the tone of my voice, you can tell, are places that I would recommend making a special trip to. All right, before I leave these, I just want to put a shout out for another place in Colorado called Blackjack near Buffalo Creek. It is a very unique trail with some very difficult slab options, and you don't hear much about this trail system anymore, but about 8 years ago it was super popular. But I rode that one, and it definitely would make it on my bucket list. All right, for the next video, we're going to hit the desert riding, go more in depth on that. We'll see you then.